Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. Welcome to Wish Upon a Pod with me, Bethany, aka Tinkerbeth.
And me, Shannon, aka Shannon Fantasyland. It's time to make your Mondays a little more magical. This is the podcast that mixes Disney magic and real life friendship, discussing everything from Disney parks and cruise ships to music, movies, and beyond.
Whether you're a die-hard Disney fan or just chasing a little wonder in your week, Wish Upon a Pod is your cozy corner of magic, mayhem, and friendship.
And on this week's episode, the topic on the table is staying off-site in Orlando. Something very different for us, I feel.
Something very different for us, but also I feel like I need to preface it from the start to say, as we talk about it a lot, we're both DVC members, and our preference is to
Yes.
stay on site at Disney.
Yes, we wouldn't be DVC members if that wasn't the case. So yeah,
Right?
it's pretty
So I feel
obvious
like,
where our opinions lie.
yeah, this could be a very one-sided video. There are positives that we will talk about, but I
Definitely.
do feel like there's going to be more negative and cons in our opinion.
Yes. Yeah, cool.
But this
Obviously, go
podcast
on,
is a
sorry.
fully opinion-based
That's
podcast.
exactly what I was going to say. You took the words out of my mouth. Like, we like giving our opinions out there. So, obviously, if you just want in the hard facts and stuff, maybe not for you.
Yeah,
'Cause
maybe
this
you need to
is...
try a different one because this is just like
Yeah,
two besties having a chin wag doing whatever we do, you
exactly.
know?
So, it's probably going to be more on site versus off site kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's
More
more the
than,
vibe. It's
yeah.
named wrong, but we sort the names out way before we start
So,
filming
tough.
anything. So sorry.
Exactly. So, how many times have you stayed off site? Have you stayed off quite a few times, or
3 times?
same as us? Funnily enough.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that is
Spooky.
weird.
Yeah, we've stayed off. Jack stayed off more than me because every time they came when he was younger, which was an extra four,
Yep.
5 times maybe, every time they stayed off site.
Okay, so Jackie's very used to staying off site then.
Not anymore.
No, no,
He's a
no.
bougie girl now, but he was.
What's his opinions on it though? Does he mind staying off site, or is he now like
Oh,
obviously
he's
he's
now
busy,
fully
so
Disney.
yeah.
I
So
would
when
have
you
said
said
I wasn't sure until this last trip staying off
that's what I
site
was gonna say. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and really cemented for both of us that we are not off site people.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially once you've obviously any on-site Disney hotel is going to be amazing, but especially once you've experienced like the likes of the Riviera and the Contemporary and like the
Mhm.
the the bougie hotels, once you've kind of like experienced that, there's no going back, I feel.
What sort of accommodation have you stayed in off site? Has it just been hotels or?
No, so Ben's only stayed in hotels, but I've done villas when I was younger. So
Okay.
I've done a villa 3 times and
Mhm.
then 2 hotels that me and Ben have done. So
Okay.
yeah. What about you? Is yours mainly villas or?
Yeah, well, we did. One was my first time was a villa. We stayed at a hotel once as well, but it was like
Okay.
it was the Grove Resort. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
But it's not just a hotel room, it's like a full-fledged apartment.
Oh, okay.
It was
So
crazy.
you definitely do get, I think the first kind of thing that comes to mind for me, other than obviously money, value for money, you definitely get bigger accommodations for your money, don't you? That's kind of the one thing that I think,
I would have said so. Obviously, it's different if you're getting a whole villa or a
yeah.
townhouse or something, but for a hotel, the reason ours was so big at the Grove is because we were upgraded because it was our honeymoon for free. Like we didn't
Oh,
pay for it,
okay.
to be honest with you.
Nice.
But like I would have agreed with you until I'd stayed at places like Saratoga Springs and the Riviera with the DVC rooms. They are
Yeah.
so much bigger.
Yeah, that's true. See, we haven't done that yet, so I
No, so you get you
can't.
get so much more room in them. Like
Yeah.
especially like I was pleasantly surprised with Saratoga how big that was. But also
Okay.
Riviera has like it has 2 bathrooms in it for a
Yeah, and because obviously you've
studio.
got like the kitchenette and everything as well, it
Yeah,
obviously it's
so I
gonna
feel
be.
like it's hard, isn't it? Because obviously it is always going to be cheaper to stay off site at the end of
Yeah,
the day.
massively. Yeah, yeah.
There's no ways around it. But
No.
is it? This is
Well,
my thing because
it
is it?
swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I suppose. I mean, with the last hotel that we stayed off site at, so we've done obviously the villas, we've done the Rosin Inn Lake Buena Vista, and we've done the Delta Marriott Celebration. The Delta Marriott Celebration was our last one that we stayed at. The price that we got that for was mental. It was like a quarter of the price, if not less, of like Pop Century, for example. Like it
Mhm.
was ridiculously cheap. And I think obviously even then add in, obviously we didn't drive, so it was Ubers every day, which that's obviously a big cost. I think we
Yeah.
paid about $400 or $500 for the whole trip in Ubers.
Hmm.
Um, but it was still, we were saving still like 2 grand probably on the hotel. So
But see, also
if
with
you
that as
get a
well, you
good
said
deal,
Pop's not the cheapest place to stay at
no,
Disney.
no,
So the
definitely.
comparison would be, I suppose, you would do to All Stars.
Yeah,
And
so then
I
we
don't know off
probably
the
would
top
have
of my
been
head
saving like,
what the prices are for All
there's normally
Stars.
about £500 difference roughly between All
Hmm.
Stars and Pop ish.
But
So
you said,
yeah,
$500 in Ubers. The other
it's a
option
lot
of
of
that is
money.
like doing a car hire, which
Yeah,
is going to be at least $300, I would say.
yeah,
Then
and
you've
then got
got
petrol and stuff.
gas.
Yeah, exactly.
Parking is $35 a day at Disney.
Hmm.
That is a lot of money every
A
day.
lot, a hell of a
They
lot.
are cracking down a little bit more on people parking at Springs for free and then getting the buses. In
Yeah,
peak seasons, they are scanning to make sure that you should be going to that hotel. It's not all the
yeah,
time, it's only in peak seasons, but also that's very long just to save a few bucks, in my opinion.
yeah. Oh god, yeah. And I think with some of we've never had this problem, but I've heard a lot of people say that you can't do this. So we've gone into the Contemporary, for example, where if we go into Magic Kingdom, we'll get an Uber to the Contemporary because it saves having to get the monorail or the boat from the
Yeah.
TTC. Um, I've heard a lot of people say that unless you have a dining reservation or you're staying there, that they won't let Ubers go to the Contemporary because a lot of people seem to do that.
So there are certain hotels where I've actually had that before.
Oh, so you have had that
We
problem?
have had that when we stayed at Caribbean Beach. We got an Uber back from Target and they wanted to go to our place at Caribbean Beach through the Riviera because it was closer.
Yeah.
And they refused to let them in because we weren't staying at the Riviera.
Wow. Okay. So
Um,
I've never experienced that. I mean,
but
we've
we
done
did
it.
that exact thing at Contemporary and it was fine.
Mm. Yeah, so I've heard a lot of people say that you get stopped, so it's probably just like a bit of it depends who's on the gate. It's a
Mhm.
lot of different things, isn't it? I've never had that issue personally, but yeah,
The other thing to think about with like car hiring as well with the price is that you've got tolls across a lot of
yeah,
Florida, especially in Orlando. Um, and that does add up every day if you're going through a toll. And most
definitely.
routes will take you through a toll to get to Disney, especially if you're staying like the Kissimmee area, which is
Yeah.
where we usually stay if we're off site. You will go
Okay.
through a toll, and unless you've got the pass on your phone, which I'm guessing you would have to be a US resident to get, I've never looked. Then
Yeah.
you the first
Have to
time
pay the
we went,
tolls.
we did that when Jack's dad hired a car. We had to have like coins and dollars to
Hmm.
be able to put through the thing. And then that just, to me, that you just build up this bulk waste of money
Definitely. Yeah,
almost.
no, 100%. That's another thing that we've never had. So it's funny how like we've both stayed off site and we've had like
Mhm.
completely different
Have you never
scenarios.
hired a car?
Never hired a car. No, I have when I was with my parents.
Hmm.
Like when we stayed at a villa, we hired a
Yeah,
car when I was younger, but me and Ben have never hired a car.
no, that makes sense.
Um, I think we probably would in the future if we ever stayed off site, but now we're DVC members, we're never going to stay off site. I
Hmm.
really are we? So, yeah, I don't know, but where we try and stay because we don't really kind of do much else other than Disney, other than like the odd Universal trip. We try and get whatever the hotel is to be as close as humanly possible to on site, basically.
Yeah.
So with that, we then never really have struggled, like have had the toll
Okay,
problem,
yeah.
if that makes sense. Um,
We didn't really have, I mean, we didn't drive obviously when we were at the Grove, but I don't recall
mm,
having to go through tolls when we did that.
okay.
But with Jack's parents, obviously the place that they chose was like a gated
Yeah.
place that was a little bit further out. I mean, it was still
Yeah.
fairly close, like it was closest to Animal Kingdom, but again, you
Okay.
still had to go through a toll to get through
Yeah.
to Disney.
I suppose it all depends on like what side of
Yeah, and what
like
the
the
quickest
George's
route
locality
round
you
is
are.
as well, because obviously you're
Exactly.
on one side and you might want to go to Magic Kingdom. It's going to take a longer, different
Yeah.
route than if you went to Animal Kingdom.
And the Uber drivers are going to go on the quickest route possible,
I
whether
mean, they pay
they
the
pay
tolls
tolls or
anyway, so
not.
that's irrelevant. If you're doing Uber, you don't have to pay the tolls.
Yeah, that's mainly just for the
It's
cars, isn't
worked
it? I
into
suppose.
your fee. But if
Yeah.
you're hiring a car, it's just something you have to take in, like working out if Uber's better for you or car hire's better for you.
Yeah.
Is it's not just the car hire, it's gas, parking, tolls. You've got different things you
Yeah.
need to think about as well. But then also
Parking alone is
Ubers,
ridiculous.
if you're starting to go to Universal or different places like that, those
Hmm.
Ubers get expensive as
Yeah,
well. So
definitely. Yeah, we last trip that we done, we didn't do Universal, so it was literally just going to and from the Disney parks every
Mhm.
day and like the odd Target trip. And yeah, we paid between $400 and $500. I can't remember the exact amount, but yeah, it's a lot. And that was just over a 2 week holiday, so it quickly adds up.
Mhm.
Don't we still definitely saved over a grand between staying off site and like the All Stars hotels. We still definitely saved a fair bit, but I think the main thing, excluding the monetary value side of things, being in the Disney bubble, there is nothing like it. You can't put a price tag on that. So I
Mhm.
think to me, that is the one thing I pretty much guarantee that you will agree. The one thing that you don't get it staying off site, no matter whether you're in a good neighbor hotel or whatever the hotel is you're staying in. If it's not a Disney like resort, it's
Mhm.
just not the same. Not being in that Disney bubble, it's not doesn't hit the
Yeah.
same, does
And
it?
I think a big thing of that is cast members as well.
Definitely.
Because they make the magic just like being nice. Like don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, all the other staff we spoke to at different hotels were nice as well, but there's just
Yeah.
some sort of something about being a Disney cast member where they are
Definitely.
just like that extra bubbly personality. Like they just
Yes.
give you that little bit more. And I think that has a big factor as well.
100%. And even like the little things to like not getting on the Disney buses every morning.
Hmm.
It's the little things that you miss, isn't it? I think when
Yeah.
we went when the last time we stayed off site, we got the odd Disney bus, obviously, if we were going from like one park to another or
Hmm.
to see a resort or something. But it was like very rare. So then when we got on the bus, I was like, oh, this is so cool. Where normally, obviously, that's an everyday thing. But yeah, you kind of, wouldn't say necessarily take advantage of that, but like you take for granted a little bit
That they
the
provide
little
all the
things, don't
transport.
you? Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's the little things that kind of also make it as well. Because obviously, you don't get the free transportation staying off site or anything like that. So yeah, I think I'm sure they had like shuttle buses or something, or both of the hotels that we stayed at, because they were both good neighbour hotels,
Yeah.
but the times were really weird.
We had a shuttle at the Grove. We used it
Okay.
one time because we were like, yeah, this is good. We can do this. We can save ourselves $20 by using
Yeah.
the shuttle. And we were the first stop on this shuttle. We did not know that it stopped at four other hotels. And
Hmm.
then it stopped at Hollywood Studios before it got to Epcot as well. So we
So
were
it takes you
on
like an
this
hour to get to the
coach
parks.
for an hour.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
We got
So
off and I
just
said
get
to
an
Jack, I was
Uber.
like, it's not worth it. I was like,
No,
I'm
it's
not doing
not.
it.
It wastes too much of your day at the end of the day, doesn't it? It's
It
just, yeah, like I
does.
said, it's not worth doing it at all.
Hmm.
Um, I had something else in my head then when you were saying something. It kind of it like triggered another thought, and I can't bloody remember what it was now. That's going to really annoy me. I think about it will come back in a bit. Um,
One of the things
but
I wanted to talk about on this is like,
yeah,
so we've said we're on-site people.
yes,
Jack's parents are very much off-site people. So I want
hmm,
to like explain their like reasoning of why they prefer
definitely,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
They have now stayed on site. They did one night at Bay Lake Tower with us, and to the point where Jack's mom said next time she goes, maybe they like to do 3 weeks. They're retired.
hmm.
They go on big long holidays. They
Nice,
do
yeah,
that.
they can.
And she
Too
was
right.
like, maybe we'll do 2 weeks in a villa and 1 week at Disney. And I was like,
Okay, so
okay.
she's slowly getting converted.
Oh yeah, she'll get there. But the thing with them is that they like their space. They want a full kitchen, they want a lounge, they want a bedroom,
Yes,
they want an outside space that's completely their own, and ideally they want a pool or a hot tub that they'd have to share.
yeah, I completely get that.
I get
I
it.
completely get
That
that.
is how they want to holiday.
100%. And I think if you're trying to have as much of a relaxing holiday as you possibly can, Disney is not relaxing by any means. So any kind of little extras that you can get to make it more relaxing, yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
I mean, Ben's never kind of experienced that side of things, and there is part of me that thinks, oh, one time do we do a villa if we go with anyone, just to kind of see both sides of it, kind of thing. Because I
To
think there
say you've done
definitely
it and to
are,
see it. Yeah.
yeah.
Do the
And there
comparison.
definitely are positives to it. There are definitely really good positives to it. Exactly like you said, the fact that you've
Mhm.
got a whole property, your own pool, you haven't got to worry about like screaming kids in the pool constantly, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. There is definitely bonuses to it. And the fact that you're getting like a massive villa for probably the same price as like the one bed, like the studios, is
I mean,
crazy.
they won't mind me saying, but like their townhouse that they got, so it was two bedrooms, two
Hmm.
bath, two and a half bath, outside space with a hot tub, not a pool, for 3 weeks was like 2.5 grand.
Yeah, which is crazy when you think you would pay that to stay at Pop or the All Stars or whatever. Like you would pay
But like
that.
but not even we wouldn't get that for 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be for 2 weeks, wouldn't it? So yeah,
Yeah.
it's still cheaper than a value Disney resort. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and they just want their space. Like we've spoke to them and we've said like you guys would love a one bedroom villa.
yeah,
Like
100%. The
get
fact it's just the two of
DVC,
them.
you'd enjoy that.
They
But
go enough.
it's
They would benefit from DVC because
they
they go
would,
enough.
they would. But they just want that outside space and a little balcony for them is not enough. It's just not what they want. A lot of the time, like
Yeah,
they very much will do like half parks, half chilling. And their
yeah,
chill time is sitting outside on their sun loungers, sunbathing with their music playing. Like they have the
nice.
radio on. And that's what they like
Yeah,
to do. If they're sat on a balcony, they're quite, some of them are quite close to your next door neighbors, things like that. So
yeah.
you can't sit out there just playing music or whatever.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
So it's not their vibe. So I get why they do it, but I do think they are slowly being
Slowly being
converted.
converted. One night, and they're already saying that they want to do like a week. So
And I
yeah,
think they will until they go, because they said like, oh, maybe one year when you guys don't go, we could buy your points off you and
okay,
you could stay. And I was like,
yeah.
okay, this is the rough price for a point. And they were like, oh. And I was like, and you'd need about like if you want to do a week, it depends where you want to go, but you're probably gonna need like 80 points or so. Jack's
Yeah,
mum was like, oh, maybe not then.
maybe not though.
I
Oh,
was
bless
like,
her.
okay. I was like, but it's to everyone's taste, I think, and you get used to what you
Definitely.
get used to as well.
Yeah, cool. It's like the fact that they've been doing it for years by the sounds of it that way. So to them, that is going to be the correct way to do Disney. And everyone's going to have different thoughts on that, aren't they? I think another good thing with doing offsite is food wise, you probably spend a lot less money, I would imagine. Well, yeah, we definitely did. Um, Food on Disney property is expensive, isn't it? I
I
don't personally
don't,
think it's as
I
bad as some
personally
people
don't
do.
think it's expensive. I think it's quite good value for money for theme park food. It's theme park food at the end
Yeah,
of the day. The
yeah,
restaurants, the sit
definitely.
down restaurants is a different sort of take. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
Yes.
about your quick services and stuff like that. Like we sat down, the four of us, in Cosmic Rays
Hmm.
and all had meals and drinks for like $50
Yeah, see
for
that
four
you
adults.
cannot complain with that, can you?
You
For
can't.
standard quick service, you cannot complain with
But
that.
like that's
If
that's a
you're
meal that's cheaper than getting four adults to have a McDonald's.
100%, yeah, definitely.
And the
I
food
think
is good quality at Disney.
it is, yeah. You're never gonna have like a horrendous meal, are you? I think if you're exactly like you said, if you're comparing sit down meals, to say if you were thinking whatever sit down meal you were thinking, comparing it to somewhere like, I don't know, Cheesecake Factory, just to be
Mhm.
generic, you are obviously going to pay a lot less for the Cheesecake Factory than you are a sit down meal on site. No matter what one it is, you're not really going to get a table service for the same kind of price you are off site. But yeah, if you're the quick service kind of person, then
I
yeah,
feel
monthly
like
is
Disney are
probably
trying to
not that much.
combat it as well with like the dining plan.
Yeah,
Because although everyone's like, oh yeah, but they put the prices up at the hotels with the dining plan. Of course they're going to do it a little bit, but like for us, we can have the dining plan. We can add it onto our DVC stay if we want to.
yeah, I always forget
We
that we can
pay
do that.
for it,
Yeah,
obviously, but it does work out cheaper. And
yeah,
I think a lot of it is that ease of like, not having to
it's
think
done.
about it.
Definitely.
You haven't got to
Yeah.
save up money for your food because your food's already paid for.
Girl math, it's free.
Yes, this is my kind of language. Um, yeah, and I think that's like, I will agree that we probably paid less off-site, but then again, I don't go on holiday to sit and cook myself food.
No, definitely
Like
not.
we were in the villa and Jack's parents were like, oh, we've got like nuggets and chips in the freezer. Let's just cook it up or let's have a barbecue. And I'm like, I'm on holiday. Get me
I
some
want
like
chicken
bring me
tenders.
food. Like I'm not sitting here cooking myself dinner. Like I'm on
Yeah, too
holiday.
right.
Like
Yeah.
that's not what I'm there for. Like Jack's mum as well, like is doing the washing and stuff like that while she's
Oh,
on
bless
holiday.
her.
And I'm thinking, no,
Yeah.
no.
See, I agree with you there. I think I if I did do like a villa or even like the one bedrooms like with the on like a DBC one where you get a
Yeah.
full kitchen, I full well know I would not utilize that kitchen anywhere near as much as I should because I'm not sitting there cooking stuff. I'm going out and having someone else
Even
cook for
when
me.
we stayed at the Grove and we had a full kitchen and we had a full washing machine, I did do bits of washing because we had California a week before and we did not bring enough clothes for 3 weeks because,
Okay.
who can? Um,
Yep.
but we bought like frozen chips and frozen nuggets and a pizza and put them in the freezer. We did not cook them. They stayed in that freezer the whole 2 weeks we were in Orlando because we were on holiday and
You
we
just
just kind of
don't,
were
do
like, oh,
you?
we'll just
Yeah.
do this and we'll order a McDonald's
Yeah.
to the room if that's what we're doing. Like we were just like, no, I don't want to cook.
Yeah, no, I think there's a little bit of a difference of just like chucking a pizza in the oven kind of thing. Just if you're in the resort chilling out,
See, but you
maybe I
could
would do
just
that.
go and buy
But
a pizza ready cooked
yeah,
and
I
it's
feel
right
like you would
there.
still, yeah,
I get it probably sounds people are probably thinking like, girl, she is lazy, but it's my holiday. I'm
100%. Yeah,
not even just throwing a frozen pizza in the oven. No, I'm on holiday. I don't want to do that. Like, Jack wants
yeah, I
pizza,
think
go and just pick one up. They cook them down the road at the
exactly.
restaurant. Like,
Especially if you're on, say, I mean, all of the restaurants probably do it no matter whether you're on or off, but most of the quick services I know on property do pizzas in the um what's the word
you're
I'm looking
always
for?
gonna find somewhere that does like chicken tenders and chips
Yeah.
on
You
site.
shouldn't need to cook, should you?
I
I
mean,
mean, some
people
people are
do,
just
and
trying to
people
save money, I
do.
suppose, aren't
Yeah,
they?
people want to save money, and people like what they like as well. And I feel like
Yeah.
possibly maybe like Americans are more likely to cook. Like
Yeah.
they know their foods and stuff like that, but like all the stuff that we bought for me, because I'm a really fussy eater and I am just generally picky. It's not just that I'll eat all types of chicken and things like that. Like I am a bit more fussy, but like
Specific. Yeah.
everything we bought in America, because it is different food than what we have here.
It is.
Everything
Yeah.
we cooked at home, I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah. No, it
Like I
is
looked at
different.
the packet
Even
and was
like
like, yeah, I'll like that. And I cooked it up and I was like, no,
it is,
I'm
yeah, no, it is different. I think even like a loaf of bread, English loaf of bread and American loaf of bread are
don't get
completely
me
different things.
started on their bread. I am a carbohydrate girly. I love bread. I will buy a
It's like
baguette
cake.
and it will feed me for a couple days. Like I just
Yeah.
love bread. I'd eat it all day, every day if I could. Their bread is not bread. It's too
No,
sweet.
it's cake. It's cake, as far as I'm
It's
concerned.
so gross. I can't. The only time I can eat it is if it's toasted with jam on it because jam is sweet.
Yes, that kind of like covers the
It
taste
kind
almost a
of
little bit,
makes
doesn't it?
it a bit easier. But like if I
Yeah.
just had like normally I just like butter on my toast. I'm very plain and simple. But I
Okay.
can't have theirs because the
It
butter
is
tastes
weird.
weird because it's the sweet bread.
Yeah, it is
Ugh.
weird. But yeah, do you think you wouldn't think that our foods are completely opposite, but they are very different, aren't they? So
Mhm.
yeah, I completely get what you mean. Plus, I just want like Disney chicken tenders. I don't want to cook like chicken nuggets in the oven. I want Disney chicken tenders.
Yeah, right, same.
I dream about chicken tenders. Why would I?
Literally, literally. I'm
Why would I
exactly the
cook
same. I'm
that?
like, why am I having this when I could be having this? You know?
Exactly. Exactly that. I don't really feel like I've like put loads down though, to be honest, but
I feel like we said at the start, this is kind of like this was never going to be what the episode was titled because we
no,
are very firmly on-site people and we don't have like although we've both done it a few times, we don't have that much to talk about off-site because
no.
we don't like it that much. And I know
I mean,
you were saying like, oh, maybe we'll try a villa, blah blah blah. I'm like, don't do it. Like you've stayed on site at Disney. Like I'm
you're
sorry.
stupid.
I'm sorry. Having stayed on site at Disney now 3 times.
hmm
I stayed twice and I bought DVC. And the third time was DVC trip. After now having done those trips and stayed off site, no, never again.
I am done.
I won't do it again.
It is
It's
one of them
not
things, and I always say to people, like the amount of times that like I'll be like messaging someone on Instagram or whatever, and I'll be like, "Oh my God, we're staying like first time ever staying on Disney property." I'm like, "Good luck, you're never gonna go back." Like
literally,
you
we
don't, do
did
you?
it the first time. We were like, we'll just do it because we're going to treat ourselves. And it's
hmm
our Christmas present to each other. And we're just going to do it one time. And we were like upgraded and we went to Caribbean Beach and we were like, oh yeah, this is nice. We were like, oh no. And do you know what? One of the biggest selling points for me is the transport.
Definitely,
Just
yeah,
being
I
able to get
completely
up
agree.
and just be like, oh yeah, there'll
Yeah,
be a bus in 20 minutes to whatever park
yeah.
I want to go to.
You just haven't got to think about it, have you? Like it's, I think, so carefree and just everything being in that Disney bubble. You do not have to think about anything. It is all just rock up when you want, do what you want. It just takes that stress level away.
My biggest thing with this trip is the bit that I hated the most about being off site was at the end of the day, end of the night, sitting there, someone's on their phone, they're trying to get the Uber up, then you've got to wait 20 minutes for your Uber to get, and then it's always a
Mhm.
longer journey because you're not on Disney property. And I'd say
Yeah,
to Jack, I'm like, this is the part I hate because I just want
yeah.
to go to
I
bed.
want to get back. Yeah,
And
yeah,
Jack's like, yeah, but
100%.
you'd be waiting in a queue for the Skyliner or you'd be waiting for a bus. I'm like, yeah, but I know it's coming. So I don't mind sitting and waiting for that because I know that bus is going to be
Yeah.
there. I don't have to track it on my phone and make sure it's coming because Uber has this really annoying thing of like they'll just cancel rides on you.
Oh yeah, we've had that a few times. It's bloody annoying.
When we watched Happily Ever After and we did our evening at Magic Kingdom. We walked to
Hmm.
the Contemporary, had an Uber booked, they cancelled it. And then we
Oh,
had to
really?
try and book it again because so many people were booking them because
Yeah.
the park had just closed. So they
Hmm.
cancelled it. So we had to keep trying. And we were sat at the Contemporary for like half an hour
Yeah, that
waiting
is
to get
hassle.
an Uber to get back to the villa. Whereas I looked at Jack because his parents weren't near us because obviously, hopefully they're not listening to this. But I like looked at him and I was like, we wouldn't have this if we were on site. And he was like, I know.
Shush.
I was like, come on. As I said, I was like, get me back on site. Like, I loved having the trip with his parents and I enjoyed doing it
Yeah,
differently,
yeah,
but it just reinforced that I
definitely.
want to be
Like
in my
you made
bubble.
the right decision with buying DVC, basically. Like for
Yes.
what you like, yeah, definitely. No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I do think there are we've the two that we've stayed at, we were quite lucky in terms of like location. It was 3 minutes drive. I timed it one day because I was being sad. I timed it from going off of like underneath the sign
Hmm.
to get into the hotel was 3 minutes. So if you were going from say Magic Kingdom to All Stars or Animal Kingdom Lodge or wherever, like the other side of Disney property, it was actually quicker to get to one of them
Hmm.
off-site hotels, which is mad. Like some of the hotels are so close to Disney property that it sometimes is just as quick, but it's the waiting part at
Yeah.
the end of the day
It's
that is a
interesting
pain.
to me how you like tracked that with your minutes because I track it by the price of the Uber. And obviously they do
Oh, okay.
fluctuate, but I would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like, okay, it's about $6 to get to Animal Kingdom from our townhouse. So I'm like, that's
yeah,
really close, because
yeah,
Hollywood Studios is $20. So
yeah.
that's how I was like, oh, we're really close to Animal Kingdom then. Do you
Yeah,
know
that
what I
makes
mean?
sense.
Like,
Yeah,
it's weird,
yeah.
isn't it? How people like how your brain
That is
works.
funny. Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to know, like, I know sometimes if we've stayed at like the All Stars Animal, like Animal Kingdom Lodge, are like the same kind of area, aren't they? So if when we stayed at All Star Music last time, sometimes it felt like we were on that bus for ages to get from like, especially Magic Kingdom, that's like right at the top of
Yeah.
property to the bottom. That felt like ages. So I was really interested to be like, well, how long does it actually take to get to the Delta Marriott or the Rosin Inn? Like, and it sometimes it was actually quicker, and I was like,
Mhm.
that's actually
I think
mental.
that's the thing with how big the Disney property is that it is dependent on what hotel you're staying at as to how far away you are from each thing. So like
Yeah.
personally, dependent on what, because we normally do a split stay now with DVC, depending on what
Hmm.
hotel we're at will depend on what parks we're doing.
Yeah.
So if we're doing like we did last time, we did a week at Saratoga. So
Hmm.
that was when we did Springs and Animal Kingdom and made sure we
Yeah.
did as much as possible there. When we were at the Contemporary, we did only Magic Kingdom and Epcot.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And when we were at the Riviera, we focused on Hollywood Studios and Epcot
Yeah. No,
because
I
they were
completely
easier
get
to get
that.
to. So I feel like
Yeah.
that is the luxury of being DVC members and going, okay, I'm
Definitely.
staying here, so I'm going to focus my trip on the closer parks for this
Yeah.
bit. And then when we move, we can focus on these parks. And I think that is, it's a tiny thing, really, in the
But
grand
yeah,
scheme of
done
things, but it's
100%. I think when you're
something.
planning your
Oh,
trip,
yeah,
yeah,
I've completely gone off on a tangent because there's nothing to do with being off-site, but it is a tick in my brain for you guys that
yeah,
you should think about it. Like
definitely
I will always try and pick two resorts that we're staying at that are
quite
fairly
far
far
apart.
apart
Yeah,
so
makes
that I
sense.
can pick. So like our next trip, I'm already in my head planning everything and I've picked the hotels I want. Obviously
Hmm.
it's 7 month window, so we've got to wait and see. But I've picked, no, I don't want to spoil anything. But I've worked out we're doing Universal this trip because we're going with friends who've never done Florida. So we're doing
Hmm.
everything. So I'm like, okay, according to maps, this hotel is technically, and it's like 4 minutes closer to Universal. So we need to do Universal while we're staying
Well, we're
there
there.
to save
Yeah,
ourselves a little bit of time and a little bit of money.
yeah, all adds up, doesn't it?
You
At the
know,
end of the
it's
day.
just little
Yeah,
things that
little
you just have
things.
to think about, all these tiny little things. I mean, you don't have to think about them. You don't
But it
have
just
to
makes
have
sense
that
to, I think.
obsessive mind like I do, control freakness.
Yeah, see, we
But
are very much like we plan every second to the nth degree, don't we? So that is
no,
very much us.
I'm not quite that bad. Once I've got a park in my mind and my park is planned, my morning
Hmm.
and evening of whatever park it is planned. Once I step
Yeah,
foot in that park, there will be usually, if it's Jack and I, we will pick two things each that are our must-dos.
Yeah, it's a good way
And
of doing
then
it.
we will try and get those done so that there's no disappointment. And then
Yep,
everything else is kind of like a free for all.
bonus. Yep, I completely agree.
Because I
Definitely.
don't think you can plan your trip
No, you
like
can't.
that because you don't know what's going to happen, like, especially when we went during spring break.
Yeah, it's just
You were
hectic,
not
isn't it?
doing anything. We were picking
Yeah.
one thing each and hoping and
Yeah.
praying the wait time was, to be fair, by the end, we weren't picking rides. We were
Really?
like,
Just do a ride.
well, not even that. We did 2 days. Well, we didn't do a single ride.
That's crazy.
Not because the wait times were too long. They were, but because
Yeah.
we were just enjoying the vibes.
I love that though. I think that's the luxury of obviously once you've been lucky enough to be able to go quite a few times, we always say like I don't care whether I get on loads of rides today or whether I just enjoy the vibes
Mhm.
because I don't go because I think everyone that hasn't been, we're going off on a proper tangent here,
Yeah, sorry
but everyone
guys.
that hasn't been, I think just thinks like, oh, it's theme park rides. You've got to like just go on
Mhm.
all the rides, rides,
You've
rides,
got to
rides,
get
rides.
all the
It's not
rides
that at
done.
all. Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
not that at all. Like the vibes to me are more important than doing all the rides.
Yeah. So like I'm trying to set expectations with my friends,
Yeah,
and being like, you need to pick a few rides at each park that are your must-dos and do not expect to do everything because you will not do everything.
you can't do everything. No.
Unless you are lucky enough to get an after hours event at every park while you're there and suddenly you've got a load of money and you can pay for
Yeah,
all those tickets, you are not getting everything done.
yeah.
And you will ruin your holiday by setting your expectations too high and also not being able to then enjoy what is happening around you.
Yeah, because you're so bothered about doing that next thing and
Yeah,
constantly
there's so
ticking
many
everything else off.
performers, so many shows, so many little things that are just happening here
Yeah,
and there that sometimes you just got to just walk through and be like, oh, wow.
yeah, definitely. And yeah, you miss the little things then, I think, don't you? If you're so bothered about getting to that next big thing. Um, on a completely different note, when you were saying about Ubers a minute ago,
Mm,
the thing that I forgot to say earlier, when you were saying about Ubers and like you were how you track them is like the price fluctuating and stuff. My kind of main tip that we learned, I mean, going anywhere, but mainly staying off site because we were using Ubers every single day. One, check Uber and Lyft. Don't just use Uber, use both.
I always find as
Two,
well, Lyft is better for longer journeys and cheaper for longer journeys. So
okay.
Universal airport runs, Lyft
Yeah,
tends to be
Lyft
cheaper.
tend to be cheaper. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, every single time I always check both, even if there's only a couple of cents in it,
Hmm.
it all adds up.
Yep.
And if you think it is more expensive than what it was yesterday when you've done the same trip, close it all down for a couple of minutes and check again because the price fluctuates so quickly that, like, if two or three people have booked within the last couple of minutes, the price will just zoom up again and then it will come
Yeah.
back down again.
I always
So,
say, unless you're really in a rush, there is nothing wrong with turning around, going sitting on a bench for 20 minutes and just
yes.
chilling and then booking.
Yeah, we literally the odd time when we were getting going to the parks in the morning, it would be the case of I would check in the room and think, oh, that's a little bit more expensive. Within the 2 minutes that it's taken for
Mhm.
us to get to the lobby, it was like $5 cheaper. So they do fluctuate so quickly. So just keep checking
Absolutely.
it. Don't feel like you need to think like, oh my God, $30 to get to the park. That's ridiculous. Do not do that. Don't do that.
But also
But
sometimes, for example, Magic Kingdom will probably be about $30.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends on where you're staying. Yeah, potentially. But if you're staying that side and going to Animal Kingdom, it should not be really
Hmm.
more than like $10
Yeah,
ish.
yeah, absolutely. It's one of those as well because like it will fluctuate on the time that you're traveling to. So
Yeah,
if you're going to the park, say 5 o'clock,
during rush hour. Yeah,
it is going to be expensive.
yeah.
So
Try and avoid that
try and
basically.
like time yourselves. Like if you want to go for rope drop and say the park opens at 8, don't aim for 8. You're going to
Yeah,
be in peak rush hour. It's going to be expensive. Aim for half past
hmm
7. Try
yeah,
and get that little bit. It's better to be early than late for stuff like that, I think.
definitely. But that could be the difference of spending $300 on Uber and $400 on Uber,
Yes,
like
absolutely.
over the
Every little
course of your
bit
holiday. Yeah,
adds up.
definitely. I think the first time that we stayed off site and we done that, we were just like, oh yeah, just book it here, there, and everywhere. And we spent so much on Uber. When we then kind of tried to be a bit more strategic with it, we noticed a big difference.
Should
So
we have named this episode like Uber tips for
it's
Orlando?
basically what it is, isn't it?
Uber tips for Orlando and going off on a tangent about staying on site.
If people
Um,
by now, if you watch it on a weekly basis, you know that we go off on tangents.
yeah, I
So
think you're
get
used to
used
us
to
by now.
us.
If this is your first time tuning in, I'm so sorry. This was not the one.
No,
This was not
no.
not the steady episode of us sticking to what. we should
No.
be. So if you have listened all the way through, congrats to you. Thank you
Yes.
very
We
much.
appreciate that. But yeah, the long and short of it though, obviously we love staying on site. So it's gonna be very hard to go, oh yeah, offsite, offsite, offsite and like rate it and
Mm,
big it up. There are definitely big pros to it, but we're DVC members for a reason.
yeah.
So
I think
it's
that's a
pretty
good
obvious what.
summary.
Yeah,
Like, we have
definitely.
said pros, we have said cons, we probably have
Yeah,
said more cons, but
yeah.
there are pros.
That's
And if
our
it is
opinion
for
at the end of the
you,
day. Yeah.
good for you. Like, fair play.
Everyone's different. So yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, thanks for listening to the ramblings again, guys.
See you next week.